Kingdom Business Insight. I'm so grateful for another day that we've met so that we can be able to speak more and define more moments of the Kingdom Business Insight. As I promised you that this program will always be there every day, Monday to Friday, where I'll be speaking for just only 20 minutes. And in those 20 minutes will be very transformative, very transformative to change your way of thinking, to change your perspective of the finances and for the business. Remember, I'm Pastor Sam Kamau, a professional motivational speaker, and that's what I do every day to motivate the people, and especially the lines to do with the finances. I'm very good in those lines because I know the grace that God has given me. It is the grace of the prosperity. And therefore, yesterday we started a very good topic, and the topic was the financial depression. Financial depression. What is financial depression? And we said this is a prolonged state of the economic collapse in your life that most of the people might be going through. And today I want to take a bit of it deeper, more than yesterday, because yesterday I was doing the definition where we said the financial depression is not simply being broke or poor. It is that state that you are not able to sustain yourself financially, and is being characterized the characteristics of the financial depression. It is, number one, we said yesterday, it is what we call the chronic financial stagnation. Chronic financial stagnation. I'm being a pastor, I do meet with most of the people. They come to me and they tell me, Pastor, I need your prayers. I want you to pray for me. My business is stagnated. I'm financially stagnated. Others, they go to an extreme of telling me, Pastor, you know what? I'm even dreaming with the tortoise. I'm dreaming in my house. I've seen the snails. I want a prophetic direction regarding this one. But back in my mind, I understand this person wants what she or he is going through. It is a financial depression. And financial depression is very real, because I'm going to give you a story of a good friend of mine here who was going through a financial depression. And this is a very real thing. I'm seeing, before I give you this story of my friend who was going through emotional and psychological exhaustion, that financial fatigue. And that financial fatigue brought him down to a level that he died. And we buried him. Simply because the source of his death, because it's someone that I knew very well, someone that I took the paper and I signed a loan for him as a guarantor in the Equity Bank. So it's someone that I knew very well. But this man was being employed by the county government. But when the county government started immediately, I don't want to mention who he was a driver of which governor. Today is a CS. But that then he was sacked, and then after being sacked, then the life always becomes a frustrating to everyone. And then in his frustration, he is because of the financial depression, he is not able to sustain the family, he is not able to sustain himself, he is not able to repay the loans. Then that brought him to a point of committing suicide, and then he died, and then we buried him. What was the cause of this man? The cause of this man, it was the financial depression. He was not able to sustain his financial status, and he was not able to take care of his financial status. And therefore today, as I say, let's talk more about the financial depression. I understand what the people goes through every day trying to manage their financial status, and they are not able to manage. They are trying to maintain the class of a certain status, but they are not able to maintain that class. And therefore, what they enter, it is what we are calling financial depression. So we have said number one characteristic of it, it is the chronic financial stagnation. There is no progress in the life of that person. There is no progress. That person is not able to make a progressive evidence states in financially, no project, no evidence of anything that he is doing that is happening in his life. Number two, you have said it is the characteristic is emotional and psychological fatigue. And the person is going through a lot of the financial stress, enormous stress in their life, and because of that, he is having a fatigue. And this kind of the fatigue, it is the kind of the fatigue that they feel as if they are so tired and they want to go and take a rest. But the moment they go and take a rest, within a very short time, within 2-3 hours, they are sleepless. They have no more sleep in them. And then at the middle of the night, they wake up and then they say sleepless night, restless over the night. Until in the morning is when they get a small nap and then they wake up. But this, you ask that person, what are you thinking? They'll tell you nothing. But this is someone who is going through the financial depression in life. The other one, it is lack of the recovery capacity. They are not able to develop a resilience within themselves on how to have the strength of recovering what they have lost in their lives. In other words, they don't have the capacity and ability when the economic setbacks come, they don't have the ability of rebounding back to their status. They don't have the strategy. Unless they find someone else who is in a capacity to help them, they are not able to bounce back. And most of the people, you find they go quiet when such a kind of thing happened to them. So this one brings them to what we are calling to the collapse of the confidence. So you find someone has no confidence by themselves. They are not working with the confidence. They have lost the confidence. They have lost the clarity in life. They have lost the cash flow because of the financial depression which is happening. There are 3 stages of the financial depression that happens in the lives of the people. And these 3 stages is how they happen, and they accelerate to the worst. Not to the better, but it accelerates to the worst. And I want to show you these 3 stages of the financial depression. The first stage, it is when someone, it is having the survival mode. They're operating on a survival mode. And in the survival mode, it is where they are surviving on the crisis management. They are surviving on the crisis management. Just for a minute. I want to see myself. So they are surviving on the crisis management. In other words, they are living hand to mouth. They are living by the hand to mouth. So they have to work to eat. So if they don't work, they cannot eat because they are living by the survival mode. So in other words, the paycheck to paycheck. So they are paid here to come and pay here. So already they have already bought some item in a certain kiosk or a certain shop in the locality of where they live. So when they are paid, immediately they come and they pay. They have not paid the school fees. So immediately when they have been paid, they come and pay. If they have not paid, name them. They have not paid. So, you can name anything else which they have not paid. So they have to be paid so that they can come to pay here. So they live by the paycheck to paycheck. And in this stage is where they have a constant in borrowing. You are working with someone. You are earning the same amount of the money, 50,000. Both of you are paid or 3 or 5 in that company. But there is this kind of a person who keeps on borrowing. And when you look at what he is doing, he has nothing. He has a constant in borrowing. He is the kind of the person that he keeps on checking the new apps that they give the loans here and there. This is the stage of the survival mode. The stage of the survival mode. number 3 in this class. If you want to understand in this class, there is some people who are requesting me if I can invite them to become my co-hosts. Let me say them. In TikTok, they are requesting me to give them a chance to become my co-hosts. So, but the moment you come here, please mute. Please mute the moment you come here. Just make sure that you mute. So this is what I was saying. So their income exceeds their no, that's not how I should say. Their expenditure exceed their income. They are, remember those who are joining us this time, we are talking about the financial depression, and we are looking at characteristic number, the 3 stages of the financial depression. And we are saying in this one, we are number 1, we have called it the survival mode. And in this survival mode, we have said they live by pay to paycheck. They live with a constant debt on borrowing. And number 3, in this stage, what we can find they are going through, it is what they are, their income is lesser than the expenditure, or the expenditure is greater than their income. So in other words, if they are earning 50,000, their expenditure is 80,000. So, and this is the survival mode. This is how you start realizing I'm in a financial depression and I'm in the first stage. Let's look at the second stage after you qualify to be in the first that stage. The second stage is that now, because now they are fearing something is not working in my life, and I've lost the control, I've lost the focus, I've lost the confidence, I've lost the clarity in life. They enter to what we call the second mode, which is the silent collapse. Silence collapse. So they enter to what we call, in this stage, losing the motivation. So even if they are working, they are not motivated by that work. Even if they're in the business, they are not motivated by business. There is nothing. I remember a certain lady, when we shall come to number 3, who was having a business, and she was going through a financial depression. And as she was going through the financial depression, she was telling me that at around 4 p.m., she could not close the shop, but she could leave the shop not closed, and she lands and go home. And then she is at home. Then at around 5, 6, the people calling her, where have you not, where are you? I'm at home. And why have you not closed your shop? And then she could shout, oh, what have I done? What have I done? Then she could learn, go back and close the shop. It is the moment that she could remember, I have not closed the shop. She could go back. At some particular moment, she could go to cook, and then she put the sufria on the fire, and it has nothing to be cooked, no water, nothing. It is just there. And then is the time she started coming to the realization after consulting some few friends, and the friends were telling her, you are going through the financial depression. So the depression is not only the mental, it is also there is also the financial, and this one is caused by now you don't have the motivation. You start hiding your financial struggles. So you find those people now, they are trying to pretend as if they are not having any problem, and as if they are not going through any issue of the financial. They are trying to hide themselves. They start isolating themselves from the people. And then number 3, emotional breakdowns. In the moment you can find them as if they are crying. They have the moody swings. But basically, they don't know what is disturbing them. But simply is because they are going through the financial depression, mental fatigue. They always have the mental fatigue always. in this when the silent collapse, and then relationship is being strained by the pressures which you are going through. Number 3, it is what they enter now to what we call a systematic despair. So now in the third level, it is now in the systematic despair. And in the systematic despair, it is where they lose the job. It is where the asset, they are seized by the auctioneers, by the deputy correctors, the family breakdown, healthy suicide. They are willing to commit the suicide. Those suicide thoughts, they always appear to them. It is a very dangerous stage that the people, when they are in, they are in a financial depression. I want to give you a story, a very good story, so that I can be able to narrate those three stages which I've mentioned. And the story that I want to give you, it is a financial depression of a certain friend of mine in Kenya. It is a personal and it's a present case, which most of the people, you agree that they go through. This meet James. James is 38 years, a non civil servant based in Nairobi. On a paper, James look like a typical middle income person who earns a salary of 78,000 per month. 78,000 per month is what he earns as a net profit. As a net profit, that's what he earns. 78,000. Enough to give him illusion and stability. He wears a white shirt, very neat guy, and he went to work and he drives his cars, and which is a very modest car. And beneath, James was a man who started slowly clambering under the brutal weight of the financial depression. Let me explain to you how this man went down financially, and then he entered into the financial depression. This is what happened to James. He had 2 bank loans and 1 mobile loan and 3 Shylocks. If you don't know what is the Shylocks, these are the people that you go and you take your asset and they give you money immediately. So he had the 3 Shylocks cycling the ventures. So every 10th of the month, he could get a stampering or a threatening calls. So, and these 3 threatening calls that he could get, they were disturbing him. Especially the Shylock man. This Shylock could threaten him, could insult him. And not only that, and not only to threaten him, one time the bank sent the deputy correctors to his workplace, and they repossessed the car outside his office, and it became a shame that he could not bear. So and now the wife was trying to become strong, but this was not possible. So all of a sudden, because the wife could not handle the pressure and the disgrace and the embarrassment of what they are going through, the marriage breakdown because of many arguments and many disagreements in the family. So now what happened next to James? James started dying inside. Then he started missing the workplace. He could not go to the workplace. The anxiety turns into insomnia. The insomnia is that lack of the sleep. Then the depression accelerated. He started becoming alcoholic. Temporarily, he started escaping and relenting storms. But now his employer, who is the government, started noticing his absenteeism and lateness, the slackness, even the negative speech, and also the every manner of things in the workplace of how he could behave himself. Finally, what happened? A thought came in his mind. And what was the thought? To commit the suicide. And when he tried, he was not able to commit the suicide. And now because he was not able to commit the suicide, what happened? His mind was a prison. So along the way, he met one of his friends, and this friend introduced him to a life coach man. And this life coach, a person like Pastor Sam Kamau, he never gave him the money. He never prayed him for a miracle. What he did to him, he just spoke to him and he changed and told him the problem is not the money, the problem is your mindset. And James realized this can be a very good idea. And then he accepted that to be mentored and to be cautioned by to have the life coach. And then they started walking the journey together. And as they were walking journey together, James was rebirthed again. And now he started learning the financial discipline. And then he downsized not only the shame, but he also the strategy. And he stopped chasing the status. And now he started chasing the purpose. And along the way, James, now after he got the strength of the resilience, and then he came back. James overcame his financial depression that he was going through. So today I might be talking to so many James who are hiding themselves, but they are going through the financial depression. They have gone everything that I've said, and now they are in the third stage, Lord, as systematic despair, and there is no more spirit within them because of the overburdens that is in them. Because you might be receiving so many threatening calls. Now you have switched your phone. Now you have already relocated. Now you don't know what to do. The marriage has broken. The relationship is no more there. And I know you are listening to me. Perhaps even you have been sacked in the job. Perhaps even the business has collapsed because of the financial breakdown, financial depression. And you are wondering, what should I do? What should I do? So tomorrow as we meet, I shall be able to give you the signs of the financial depression, and then we shall look, what should you do? What should you do? So we meet tomorrow, the same time, the same place here, and then I shall tell you how shall we break the sirens, how shall we break the cycles, how shall we break these cycles and the patterns of the financial depression in the lives of so many people. Some of the people, they are fearing they cannot go and look the job again, but I will tell you what to do tomorrow. So God bless you and God do you. You know, I'm also I've written a book by the name Academic Mindset. It's one of my books that I've written, Academic Mindset. I've also written another book which is called The Breaking the Soul Tie, and you are there and you are feeling there is someone that you parted the with, and now you're asking how can you part the with, and then the same person is still haunting you, and his spirit is still haunting you, the voice is still speaking to you. I have this book for you. So, and this book will help you to break those soul ties. So you can reach me on my DM and you can write to me, and I'm going to help you and to how you are going to get the books. So God bless you and God do you well. I'm Pastor Sam Kamau, a professional motivational speaker. See you tomorrow. God bless you. So before you leave, make sure that you comment and leave a comment of what you have understood today. Leave a comment.